Question 1. During a major transformation where existing methods are being restructured, a public school district implements a strict dress code policy that prohibits students from wearing any clothing with political messages. A group of students challenges the policy, arguing that it violates their First Amendment rights. Under established legal precedents, what is the most likely outcome of this case? A. The court upholds the dress code policy, ruling that schools have complete discretion over student attire. B. The court strikes down the policy, ruling that it violates students' free speech rights unless the school can show a substantial disruption. C. The court rules that the policy is constitutional because political messages are inherently disruptive in a school setting. D. The court allows the policy but requires that students be given alternate means of expressing their views on campus. Answer B. The court strikes down the policy, ruling that it violates students' free speech rights unless the school can show a substantial disruption. Explanation. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech, and this right extends to public school students. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Tinker v. Des Moines Independent Community School District, 1969, established that students do not shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. However, schools can restrict speech if they can demonstrate that it causes substantial disruption to the learning environment. Incorrect answers. A is incorrect because while schools have some discretion over dress codes, they can create policies that broadly suppress political speech without a valid justification. C is incorrect because political messages are not inherently disruptive. Schools must show evidence of actual disruption to justify such a restriction. D is incorrect because courts typically require schools to tailor restrictions narrowly rather than forcing alternative methods of speech. This case reinforces the importance of constitutional protection, education law, and the limitations on school policies that infringe upon student rights. Question 2. While analyzing the root causes of sequential problems in special education services, a parent files a lawsuit against a school district arguing that their child with a disability is not receiving a free appropriate public education. FAPE under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act idea, the parent claims that the Individualized Education Program (EAP) is not being properly implemented. What is the likely outcome if the court finds that the EAP was not followed? A. The court dismisses the case, ruling that minor deviations from an EAP do not constitute a violation of FAPE. B. The court orders the school district to reimburse the parents for private school tuition if the public school fails to provide FAPE. C. The court rules that the school has full discretion to modify the EAP without parental consent. D. The court rules that the school district must provide compensatory education services but order private school tuition reimbursement. Answer B. The court orders the school district to reimburse the parents for private school tuition if the public school fails to provide FAPE. Explanation. Under idea, public schools must provide students with disabilities a free appropriate public education FAPE. If a school district fails to implement an individualized education program (EAP), effectively, parents can seek remedies including tuition reimbursement for private placement. Florence County School District 4v. Carter, 1993. Incorrect answers. A is incorrect because significant failures to implement an EAP can constitute a denial of FAPE, leading to legal consequences. C is incorrect because any EAP modifications require parental involvement and adherence to IDEA procedural safeguards. D is partially correct in that compensatory education may be awarded, but reimbursement is a stronger remedy when FAPE is denied entirely. This case underscores the enforcement mechanisms under IDEA and the legal protections for students with disabilities. Question 3. In a multi-location scenario where consistency requirements vary, a state legislature enacts a law prohibiting local school districts from using property tax revenues to fund public schools, instead centralizing all funding at the state level. A group of low-income school districts challenges the law, arguing that it violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment by exacerbating funding inequities. Based on precedents, how would the Supreme Court likely rule? A. The law is unconstitutional because school funding disparities violate the fundamental right to education. B. The law is upheld because education is not considered a fundamental right under the U.S. Constitution. C. The law is unconstitutional because state control over education funding must ensure strict equality among school districts. D. The law is upheld, but states must provide additional funding to low-income districts to mitigate inequities. Answer B. The law is upheld because education is not considered a fundamental right under the U.S. Constitution. Explanation. In San Antonio Independent School District v. Rodriguez, 1973, the Supreme Court ruled that education is not a fundamental right under the U.S. Constitution. The court applied rational basis review rather than strict scrutiny, ruling that disparities in school funding caused by reliance on local property taxes did not violate the Equal Protection Clause. Incorrect answers. A is incorrect because the Supreme Court has explicitly rejected the argument that education is a fundamental right. C is incorrect because there is no constitutional requirement for absolute equality in funding. D is incorrect because while states can choose to implement funding adjustments, there is no constitutional mandate requiring them to do so. This ruling remains controversial, but it highlights the role of state governments in education funding and the legal limitations of federal equal protection claims in school finance litigation. Question 4. During an emergency response where multiple areas are impacted, a public school district in a major city faced a significant security breach when an unauthorized individual gained access to a high school campus. This person, who was not a student or staff member, wandered the halls for several hours before being confronted by security. The situation has raised concerns about the district's legal responsibilities under safety laws. Under federal and state school safety regulations, which of the following best outlines the school district's legal obligations in preventing such incidents and ensuring student safety? A. The school district must only implement security measures if breach has previously occurred, as preventive measures are not legally mandated. B. The school district must comply with federal laws such as the Gun-Free Schools Act and local school safety regulations, ensuring proper security protocols are in place to prevent unauthorized access. C. The school district is only responsible for the safety of students during official school hours. Liability does not extend to extracurricular activities or after-school programs. D. The school district has no legal obligation beyond posting security guidelines, as liability falls solely on individuals who trespass. Answer. B. The school district must comply with federal laws such as the Gun-Free Schools Act and local school safety regulations, ensuring proper security protocols are in place to prevent unauthorized access. Explanation. School districts are legally required to implement security measures to protect students and staff under various federal and state laws. The Gun-Free Schools Act (GFSA) mandates strict policies regarding firearms, school property, while other federal and state laws require schools to adopt comprehensive safety plans, including physical security measures, emergency preparedness drills, and proper identification systems. Why? B is correct. Schools have a duty of care to provide a safe environment for students. Federal regulations require adherence to safety protocols such as controlled access points, visitor identification procedures, and school routes. Officers, SROs, where applicable. Many states have additional safety regulations that mandate emergency preparedness, including responding to unauthorized entries. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because schools are required to implement preventive measures proactively, not just react after an incident. C is incorrect because schools are responsible for student safety whenever school-sponsored activities are in session, including after-school programs. D is incorrect because posting security guidelines alone does not absolve a school from liability if they fail to implement effective security measures. Question 5. In a situation where formal requirements conflict with individual rights, a public university implemented a mandatory speech code restricting student protests to designated free speech zones. The policy aimed to prevent disruptions in academic buildings. However, a student group challenged the rule, arguing it violated their First Amendment rights to free expression and assembly. Which of the following best describes the legal precedent regarding this issue? A. Public universities can enforce speech restrictions anywhere on campus as long as they claim an academic justification. B. Universities must balance institutional interests with students' First Amendment rights, and overly restrictive speech policies are unconstitutional. C. Students in public universities have no First Amendment rights because the university is an educational institution, not a government entity. Universities can limit speech based on viewpoint, allowing restrictions on controversial topics that might cause campus unrest. Answer. B. Universities must balance institutional interests with students' First Amendment rights, and overly restrictive speech policies are unconstitutional. Explanation. The First Amendment protects free speech, including in public universities, which are government-affiliated institutions. Courts have ruled that restrictions on speech must be narrowly tailored and serve a significant institutional interest without disproportionately students' expressive rights. Why? B is correct. Public universities can regulate time, place, and manner of speech, but cannot impose arbitrary restrictions that limit free expression without compelling justification. The Supreme Court case Healy v. James 1972 confirmed that public universities cannot prohibit student organizations from expressing views simply because they are controversial. Courts have struck down restrictive free speech zone policies as unconstitutional because they unduly limit speech rights. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because public universities cannot impose broad speech restrictions without a compelling reason. C is incorrect because the First Amendment applies to public institutions, including universities. D is incorrect because universities cannot restrict speech based on viewpoint, as ruled in like Rosenberger v. University of Virginia, 1995. Question 6. When implementing new protocols in a shared environment, a local school district introduced a policy requiring all teachers to undergo annual evaluations based on student test scores. A group of educators challenged the policy, arguing that it unfairly penalizes teachers who work with students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Which legal principle is most relevant in assessing whether this policy is lawful? A. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which ensures that all teachers receive fair treatment under employment policies. B. The First Amendment, which protects teachers' freedom of speech in contesting employment policies. C. The Establishment Clause, which prohibits government interference in private school policies. D. The Commerce Clause, which governs business transactions related to education. Answer. A. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which ensures that all teachers receive fair treatment under employment policies. Explanation. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment ensures that government policies, including those in public education, do not unfairly discriminate against certain individuals or groups. Employment policies must be rational and non-discriminatory, especially when they impact educators' marginalized communities. YA is correct. Courts have ruled that teacher evaluation systems must be fair and non-discriminatory, particularly if they impact educators working with high-need student populations. Deborah P. v. Turlington, 1981, demonstrated that employment and evaluation policies in education must consider fairness under constitutional protections. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because First Amendment protects speech, but this case focuses on employment fairness under the 14th Amendment. C is incorrect because the Establishment Clause pertains to religion in schools, not employment policies. D is incorrect because the Commerce Clause deals with economic and trade issues, not teacher evaluations. Question 7. In a case where multiple parties have different objectives, a group of parents filed a lawsuit against a public school for implementing a uniform dress code policy that bans students from wearing clothing with religious symbols. The school justified the policy by arguing that it aimed to reduce gang-related violence. Which of the following legal principles is most relevant in determining the legality of the dress code? A. The Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment, which protects students' rights to express religious beliefs through attire. B. The Fourth Amendment, which prohibits schools from conducting searches without a warrant. C. Till Roman, which addresses gender-based discrimination but does not cover religious dress codes. D. The Commerce Clause, which regulates economic activity but does not govern school dress codes. Answer. A. The Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment, which protects students' rights to express religious beliefs through attire. Explanation. The First Amendment's Free Exercise Clause protects students' rights to express their religious beliefs, including through their attire, unless the school can demonstrate compelling interest in restricting such expression. YA is correct. Tinker v. Des Moines, 1969, established that students do not shed constitutional rights when entering school. Courts have ruled that religious attire, such as hijabs or yarmulkes, is protected unless the school proves compelling reason for its restriction. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because the Fourth Amendment governs search and seizure, not dress codes. C is incorrect because Till Romana focuses on gender equity in education. D is incorrect because the Commerce Clause relates to business tool policies. Let me know if you need additional complex questions. Question 8. In a high-stakes environment where multiple challenges must be managed simultaneously, a global corporation implemented a new supply chain tracking system to improve transparency and efficiency. However, after the system was deployed, suppliers in different regions reported difficulty in integrating their local inventory management systems with the centralized platform. Which of the following best describes the primary issue faced by the corporation? A. The new system was not tested properly before deployment, leading to unforeseen compatibility issues. B. The company failed to consider regional supply chain regulations, making compliance difficult for some suppliers. C. The centralized platform was implemented without adequate support for diverse existing infrastructures across regions. D. The problem arose due to resistance from suppliers who were unwilling to change their established process. Answer C. The centralized platform was implemented without adequate support for diverse existing infrastructures across regions. Explanation: when rolling out a centralized technology system across multiple regions, one of the biggest challenges is ensuring compatibility with existing local infrastructures. Why C is correct. Many suppliers use customized or legacy inventory management systems that may not align with a new central system. A lack of adequate support or adaptation mechanisms can create major integration challenges. Best practices include conducting pilot tests in diverse environments before full-scale implementation. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because testing alone would not resolve the issue if the system itself was not designed for broad compatibility. B is incorrect because the main challenge was technical, not regulatory. D. Incorrect because while some resistance to change is normal, the primary issue here was system integration. Question 9. When implementing backup procedures across various business units, a financial institution discovered discrepancies in data recovery times across its departments. Some teams were able to restore their data within minutes, while others took several hours, causing operational delays. Which of the following is the best course of action to resolve this inconsistency? A. Standardize a single recovery process across all business units to ensure uniformity. B. Identify the departments with the fastest recovery times and require all others to adopt the same approach. C. Conduct a comprehensive assessment of each department's data backup structure and adjust resources accordingly. D. Reduce reliance on backup systems by encouraging teams to store only essential data. Answer C. Conduct a comprehensive assessment of each department's data backup structure and adjust resources accordingly. Explanation: data recovery times can vary due to differences in backup infrastructure, storage allocation, and operational priorities. Why C is correct. Thorough assessment helps pinpoint inefficiencies in departments that experience slow recovery times. Some units may have faster access to cloud-based backups, while others rely on local server recovery. Adjusting resource allocation or upgrading storage solutions can improve consistency, while the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because one-size-fits-all recovery method may not be optimal for all departments. B is incorrect as not all teams have identical needs, and blindly adopting one approach may create issues. D is incorrect because data minimization does not address the core issue of recovery speeds. Question 10. During a major transformation where existing methods are being replaced, a hospital adopted a new electronic health records system to improve patient data management. However, doctors and nurses complained that the system was difficult to use and significantly slowed down their workflow. Which approach would be most effective in addressing this challenge? A. Revert to the old system until a better alternative is available. B. Provide extensive user training and customize workflows to match the hospital's needs. C. Reduce system complexity by removing features that require additional user input. D. Enforce strict compliance with the new system and issue penalties for non-adoption. Answer: B. Provide extensive user training and customize workflows to match the hospital's needs. Explanation: introducing new AI system in hospital setting requires careful planning to balance efficiency with usability. Why? B is correct. Comprehensive training ensures that staff can use the system effectively. Customizing workflows allows integration with existing hospital procedures, reducing disruptions. The change should be incremental, well supported to maximize adoption. Why the other options are incorrect? A is incorrect because reverting would waste resources and delay progress. C is incorrect because removing essential features could compromise patient care. D is incorrect, as strict enforcement without proper training and support would lead to frustration. Question 11. When developing a solution that must address opposing needs, a technology firm introduced a flexible work policy to balance remote and in-office work. However, managers struggled with maintaining productivity while employees favored remote options. Which solution would best resolve this conflict? A. Require all employees to work in office at least 3 days per week. B. Implement a performance-based remote work model where eligibility is tied to productivity. C. Allow employees to choose their schedule without managerial oversight. D. Eliminate remote work entirely to simplify management oversight. Answer: B. Implement a performance-based remote work model where eligibility is tied to productivity. Explanation: a performance-based remote work model ensures both productivity and employee flexibility, addressing the needs of both management and employees. Why B is correct. Employees who demonstrate high productivity can maintain flexibility. Managers gain control over performance monitoring without restricting all employees. This promotes fairness while maintaining efficiency. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because a fixed in-office requirement ignores individual productivity differences. C is incorrect as lack of oversight could lead to accountability issues. D is incorrect since banning remote work entirely removes employee flexibility, which can lead to dissatisfaction. Question 12. During an emergency response where multiple areas are impacted, a government agency deployed a disaster relief program but faced logistical challenges in distributing aid to rural communities. Which approach would best improve aid distribution? A. Establish centralized distribution centers and require residents to travel for aid. B. Partner with local organizations to extend distribution networks. C. Distribute resources based solely on population density. D. Reduce aid shipments to prioritize major urban areas. Answer: B. Partner with local organizations to extend distribution networks. Explanation: local partnerships improve access to aid by leveraging existing networks in rural areas. Why B is correct. Local organizations, e.g., community centers, churches, can distribute aid faster, more efficiently. This approach reduces travel burdens for residents in remote locations. It ensures better coordination in handling localized needs. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because requiring residents to travel creates barriers to accessing aid. C is incorrect as population-based distribution overlooks specific community needs. D is incorrect since prioritizing urban areas neglects rural populations, leaving them without necessary aid. Question 13. In a scenario where efficiency decreases across multiple departments, a manufacturing company noticed a drop in productivity after introducing new workflow automation tools. Which action is most likely to resolve this issue? A. Conduct a department-wide assessment to identify inefficiencies. B. Roll back automation and return to manual workflows. C. Reduce the number of automated processes to simplify operations. D. Replace employees resistant to automation. Answer: A. Conduct a department-wide assessment to identify inefficiencies. Explanation: a detailed assessment helps identify which aspects of automation improve or hinder efficiency. Why A is correct. Some departments may not be using automation optimally. Training gaps or process misalignment could be causing productivity loss. A targeted assessment allows for adjustments without abandoning automation altogether. Why the other options are correct. B is incorrect because reverting to manual processes is inefficient and counterproductive. C is incorrect as blindly reducing automation may eliminate beneficial aspects of the new system. D is incorrect because blaming employees without investigating systemic issues is ineffective. Question 14. While investigating a complicated issue between different teams, a retail company discovered inconsistencies in customer data across marketing and sales platforms. Which steps should be taken first? A. Merge all customer databases into a single platform. B. Standardize data entry practices across teams. C. Assign each team a separate database to maintain independence. D. Limit access to customer data to reduce errors. Answer: B. Standardize data entry practices across teams. Explanation: standardizing data entry processes prevents inconsistencies at the source. Why B is correct. Different teams may use different formats, abbreviations, or validation processes, leading to discrepancies. A standardized data entry protocol ensures uniformity and prevents future errors. It also allows for easier data merging and cross-team coordination. Why the options are incorrect. A is incorrect because merging databases without cleaning the data first may lead to greater inconsistencies. C is incorrect as separating databases makes integration more difficult. D is incorrect because restricting access does not address the root cause of data discrepancies. Question 15. During a comprehensive review of a process that needs improvement, a logistics company analyzed delivery delays and found that warehouse processing times varied widely. What is the most effective solution? A. Standardize warehouse operations and enforce strict processing timelines. B. Automate inventory tracking and implement real-time monitoring. C. Reduce order volume to ease the workload. D. Allow each warehouse to create its own efficiency strategies. Answer: B. Automate inventory tracking and implement real-time monitoring. Explanation: automating inventory tracking and real-time monitoring improves efficiency and accuracy across warehouses. Why? B is correct. Real-time monitoring allows warehouses to identify bottlenecks immediately. Automation ensures faster, more accurate tracking, reducing errors and delays. This approach enhances scalability while maintaining consistent performance. Why the other options are incorrect? A is incorrect because strict enforcement alone does not solve underlying inefficiencies. C is incorrect as reducing order volume limits business growth rather than solving process inefficiencies. D is incorrect because allowing warehouses to create independent strategies leads to inconsistencies. Question 16. In an environment where different components must interact seamlessly, a smart home device company faced complaints about connectivity issues between its products. What should be the company's priority? A. Improve device compatibility with industry standards. B. Limit connectivity to company-branded products only. C. Require users to purchase additional accessories for integration. D. Discontinue support for older devices to reduce complexity. Answer: A. Improve device compatibility with industry standards. Explanation: ensuring compatibility with industry standards enhances usability and customer satisfaction. Why A is correct. Industry standard compatibility ensures seamless integration with third-party devices. It expands market potential by allowing users to connect with a variety of products. This approach reduces customer frustration and improves product value. Why the other are incorrect. B is incorrect as limiting compatibility discourages users who want interoperability with other brands. C is incorrect because requiring additional purchases reduces user convenience and customer trust. D is incorrect as discontinuing older device support alienates existing customers. Question 17. When implementing backup procedures across various systems, a financial institution noticed discrepancies in data restoration times across its regional offices. Which approach would best ensure consistency in backup and recovery procedures? A. Require each regional office to develop its own backup protocol. B. Centralize data storage and automate regular system-wide backups. C. Implement manual backups to allow flexibility in data recovery. D. Limit backups to only critical systems to reduce strain on resources. Answer: B. Centralize data storage and automate regular system-wide backups. Explanation: automating system-wide backups ensures consistency, reliability, and quick recovery in case of failure. Why? B is correct. Centralized storage prevents data fragmentation across regions. Automated backups reduce human error and ensure regular data protection. Faster recovery is possible when a standardized system is in place. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect because decentralized backup policies lead to inconsistencies. C is incorrect as manual backups are inefficient and prone to human error. D is incorrect because limiting backups risks data loss in non-critical systems that may still be important. Question 18. While analyzing the root causes of sequential problems in supply chain logistics, a retailer noticed frequent shipping delays and incorrect inventory levels. Which solution would best improve accuracy and efficiency? A. Increase warehouse staff to process shipments faster. B. Integrate real-time tracking and automated inventory updates. C. Reduce supplier orders to decrease logistical complexity. D. Assign separate teams to manage shipping and inventory independently. Answer: B. Integrate real-time tracking and automated inventory updates. Explanation: real-time tracking and automation improve visibility, reduce errors, and enhance coordination. Why? B is correct. Automated updates ensure inventory levels remain accurate. Real-time tracking helps identify shipping delays immediately. This approach optimizes decision-making and improves efficiency. Why the other options are incorrect. A is incorrect. Increasing staff does not address process inefficiencies. C is incorrect since reducing orders limits business growth rather than solving logistical issues. D is incorrect because separating teams can lead to miscommunication and data discrepancies. Question 19. In a high-stakes environment where multiple challenges must be managed simultaneously, a hospital experienced scheduling conflicts between doctors, nurses, and technicians. What is the most effective way to address this issue? A. Implement an AI-driven scheduling system that balances workload and availability. B. Require staff to manually coordinate their own schedules. C. Reduce the number of staff on duty to simplify scheduling. D. Assign one manager to oversee all scheduling decisions. Answer: A. Implement an AI-driven scheduling system that balances workload and availability. Explanation: AI-driven scheduling optimizes resource allocation, prevents conflicts, and ensures fairness. Why A is correct. Automation reduces scheduling errors and adapts to last-minute changes. AI can distribute workload fairly, preventing burnout. It enhances coordination across departments. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because manual coordination is time-consuming and prone to mistakes. C is incorrect since reducing staff impacts patient care and operational efficiency. D is incorrect because one manager alone cannot efficiently manage complex scheduling needs. Question 20. During a major transformation where existing methods are being replaced, a tech company faced resistance from employees regarding a new software system. Which strategy would best facilitate a smooth transition? A. Provide comprehensive training and support during the rollout. B. Force all employees to use the new system immediately. C. Allow employees to opt out of using the new system. D. Delay the implementation indefinitely to avoid disruptions. Answer: A. Provide comprehensive training and support during the rollout. Explanation: training and support help employees adapt, reducing resistance and increasing adoption. Why A is correct. Proper training minimizes frustration and ensures employees feel confident using the new system. Support services address concerns in real time, preventing productivity loss. A structured rollout plan increases acceptance rates. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because forcing adoption without support leads to frustration. C is incorrect since allowing opt-outs creates inefficiencies and inconsistencies. D is incorrect as delaying implementation disrupts progress and increases costs. Question 21. When scaling up operations that experience significant delays, a manufacturing firm struggled with meeting customer demands. What is the most effective way to improve production speed? A. Streamline workflows and remove unnecessary process steps. B. Reduce workforce size to focus only on priority orders. C. Increase production quotas without changing existing processes. D. Use outdated equipment to save costs. Answer: A. Streamline workflows and remove unnecessary process steps. Explanation: streamlining workflows eliminates bottlenecks and improves production efficiency. Why A is correct. Identifying and removing inefficient steps speeds up operations. Optimized workflows increase output without overburdening staff. This approach maintains quality while scaling production. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because reducing staff slows production instead of improving it. C is incorrect since increasing quotas without process improvement leads to inefficiencies. D is incorrect because outdated equipment reduces efficiency and increases maintenance costs. Question 22. While investigating inconsistencies across various units, a retail company found that customer service ratings varied widely between locations. Which action should be taken first? A. Standardize customer service training programs across all locations. B. Close underperforming locations to maintain overall brand reputation. C. Reduce customer feedback collection to limit negative reviews. D. Allow each store to develop independent service standards. Answer: A. Standardize customer service training programs across all locations. Explanation: standardizing training ensures consistent customer experiences across all locations. Why A is correct. Unified training programs provide a consistent approach to service. It reduces discrepancies in customer experiences. Employees across locations will be better prepared to handle inquiries and complaints. Why the other options are incorrect. Incorrect since closing stores does not address the root cause of service inconsistencies. C is incorrect because reducing feedback hides problems rather than solving them. D is incorrect as independent standards lead to further inconsistencies. Question 23. When improving a process that shows unexpected results. A pharmaceutical company discovered inconsistencies in drug potency during quality control testing. Which corrective action would best address this issue? A. Implement stricter testing protocols and recalibrate laboratory equipment regularly. B. Increase production speed to meet demand despite inconsistencies. C. Rely solely on manual inspections rather than automated testing. D. Ignore minor variations since they are expected in pharmaceutical production. Answer A. Implement stricter testing protocols and recalibrate laboratory equipment regularly. Explanation: stricter testing and equipment recalibration ensure consistent drug potency and regulatory compliance. YA is correct. Regular recalibration reduces errors and ensures accurate measurements. Stricter protocols maintain consistency in drug formulation. This approach aligns with regulatory standards and patient safety requirements. The other options are incorrect. B is incorrect since increasing speed without addressing inconsistencies worsens quality issues. C is incorrect because manual inspections alone are prone to human error. D is incorrect as minor variations can have significant effects on drug safety and efficacy. Question 24. During a seamless transition where continuity must be maintained, a university migrated from in-person to online learning but faced student engagement challenges. Which strategy would best improve engagement in the new system? A. Incorporate interactive elements such as live Q as sessions and discussion forums. B. Eliminate assessments to reduce student workload. C. Allow students to choose between in-person and online formats without additional guidance. D. Reduce faculty interaction to encourage independent learning. Answer A. Incorporate interactive elements such as live Q sessions and discussion forums. Explanation: interactive elements enhance engagement, participation, and knowledge retention in an online environment. YA is correct. Live Q sessions enable real-time engagement with instructors. Discussion forums foster peer-to-peer learning and interaction. These methods mirror classroom participation, maintaining educational quality. Why the options are incorrect? B is incorrect because eliminating assessments reduces accountability and learning motivation. C is incorrect since students may struggle without structured guidance. D is incorrect as faculty interaction is crucial for student success. Question 25. In a case where multiple parties have different objectives, a joint venture between two companies struggled with decision-making due to conflicting priorities. Which approach would best resolve this issue? A. Establish a structured governance model with predefined conflict resolution mechanisms. B. Allow each company to make independent decisions in its area of expertise. C. Rotate leadership roles between the two companies on a quarterly basis. D. Encourage informal meetings instead of structured decision-making. Answer A. Establish a structured governance model with predefined conflict resolution mechanisms. Explanation: a structured governance model ensures clear decision-making, minimizes conflicts, and improves efficiency. YA is correct. Predefined conflict resolution prevents disputes from delaying progress. Clear roles and responsibilities help align business goals. This approach creates accountability and promotes collaboration. Why the other are incorrect? B is incorrect because independent decision-making can cause misalignment and inefficiencies. C is incorrect since rotating leadership may disrupt strategic consistency. D is incorrect as informal meetings lack structure and may not resolve core issues. Question 26. When implementing new protocols in a shared environment, a cybersecurity team introduced stricter password policies, but employees resisted compliance. What is the most effective way to encourage adoption of the new protocols? A. Provide education on cybersecurity risks and the benefits of stronger passwords. B. Automatically lock users out of systems until they comply. C. Allow employees to opt out if they find the policies inconvenient. D. Delay implementation until all employees agree with the changes. Answer A. Provide education on cybersecurity risks and the benefits of stronger passwords. Explanation: education increases understanding, reduces resistance, and fosters compliance with security measures. YA is correct. Employees are more likely to follow rules when they understand the risks. Cybersecurity training reinforces the importance of data protection. This approach encourages voluntary compliance rather than forced compliance. Other options are incorrect. B is incorrect because locking users out creates productivity disruptions. C is incorrect as opting out weakens security across the organization. D is incorrect since delaying implementation leaves the system vulnerable. Question 27. While investigating a complicated issue between different departments. A company identified frequent miscommunication in project handoffs. What is the best way to address this challenge? A. Implement standardized documentation and clear communication protocols. B. Reduce interdepartmental collaboration to minimize miscommunication. C. Assign one person to act as the sole intermediary between departments. D. Encourage teams to handle projects independently without coordination. Answer A. Implement standardized documentation and clear communication protocols. Explanation. Standardized documentation and communication protocols ensure clarity and reduce errors in project handoffs. YA is correct. Clear documentation prevents misunderstandings and lost information. Standardized protocols improve workflow efficiency. This solution promotes accountability and better collaboration. Why the other options are incorrect. B is incorrect as reducing collaboration limits innovation and efficiency. C is incorrect because a sole intermediary can become a bottleneck. D is incorrect since independent handling may lead to further misalignment. Question 28. During an emergency response where multiple areas are impacted, a city's disaster management team faced delays in resource deployment. Which strategy would improve emergency response efficiency? A. Implement centralized command system for real-time coordination. B. Allow each district to manage resources independently. C. Reduce the number of responders to simplify logistics. D. Focus on only one critical area even if other regions are at risk. Answer A. Implement a centralized command system for real-time coordination. Explanation. A centralized command system enhances coordination, speeds up response time, and optimizes resource allocation. YA is correct. Real-time coordination improves decision-making and response speed. Centralization prevents resource duplication and delays. This system ensures all impacted areas receive adequate support. Why the other options? Incorrect. B is incorrect as decentralized management leads to disorganized responses. C is incorrect since reducing responders limits the ability to address emergencies. D is incorrect because focusing on one area ignores broader risks. Question 29. In an environment where different components must interact seamlessly, a manufacturing plant faced inefficiencies due to machine compatibility issues. What is the best way to resolve this problem? A. Upgrade to a unified system that integrates all components. B. Continue using mismatched equipment to save costs. C. Manually adjust machine settings each time a mismatch occurs. D. Reduce the number of machines to limit integration challenges. Answer A. Upgrade to a unified system that integrates all components. Explanation. A unified system ensures smooth operation, reduces downtime, and improves productivity. YA is correct. Integrated systems improve efficiency and eliminate compatibility issues. Automation reduces manual adjustments, increasing productivity. This approach prevents errors and enhances output quality. Why the other options are incorrect? B is incorrect because mismatched equipment reduces efficiency. C is incorrect as manual adjustments are time-consuming and prone to mistakes. D is incorrect since reducing machines limits production capacity. Question 30. When balancing innovation with risk management, a technology company wants to launch a new AI-powered product but is concerned about potential regulatory and ethical issues. What is the best approach to ensure compliance while maintaining innovation? A. Conduct thorough risk assessments and collaborate with regulators before launch. B. Release the product immediately and address compliance issues later. C. Avoid innovation in areas with potential regulatory concerns. D. Focus only on short-term gains without considering long-term risks. Answer A. Conduct thorough risk assessments and collaborate with regulators before launch. Explanation. Balancing innovation with risk management ensures regulatory compliance, ethical integrity, and long-term success. YA is correct. Risk assessments help identify potential legal and ethical issues before launch. Collaboration with regulators ensures compliance with industry standards. Proactive planning prevents costly penalties and repute damage. Why the other options are incorrect? B is incorrect since addressing compliance after launch can lead to legal issues and product recalls. C is incorrect because avoiding innovation limits competitiveness and growth. D is incorrect as focusing only on short-term gains ignores sustainability and long-term risks.